Right, peoples, Shadowita, one angry pagan here. I have had, I come across this morning. I find it quite funny. I say funny, it's also despicable. Obviously, I mentioned on my little walkabout video that they had to be taken back off the boats again. I'm not sure if that was before or after. I think it might have been after I did my video actually. So when I did my walkabout video, it was they were just putting the migrants onto the boat, or the refugees and asylum seekers onto these fucking detention boats, detention barges, whatever they want to fucking call them, right? Only for Friday for them to be taken off because Legionnaires has been found. Listen to this response from the health secretary. Not just a minister, but the health secretary.
Legionella on the barge. You've spoken about barges.
Just want to turn this up a bit. Listen to this shit. It's fucking vile.
On the baby Stockholm. When did you hear about that?
Well, ministers were made aware of that on Thursday evening, and obviously that's been discussed with the council in terms of the importance of that information coming across quicker. So ministers were aware on Thursday evening.
Dorset Council say they told a Home Office contractor on Monday night.
Well, as Health Secretary,
you also got to take into account is they also tried to berth 2 other barges around the UK and couldn't do it. £1.6 billion spent on one barge. It was supposed to be 3 barges and it's now 1 barge. It's fucking sickening. And it just carries on bullshitting.
Obviously, I wouldn't be cited on whether someone in the Home Office had been notified or not, but I know in terms of Home Office ministers...
You're a health minister. You should be keeping abreast of this stuff anyway.
Were notified on Thursday evening and took action on a precautionary basis. But it is important...
They found out on Monday. How is...
Don't you think that feels like quite a long time, though?
Well, as I say, this is a Home Office lead, but I know Home Office ministers were notified... Health is your brief.
You would know how dangerous Legionella is.
Say again, sorry?
I'm saying health is your brief. You would know how dangerous Legionella is and how important it is to act urgently in that situation. If a Home Office contractor knew on Monday night, do you think it's too long for then a minister to hear on Thursday?
What? Monday night they knew about this and didn't start taking them off till Thursday, Friday. What the fuck? This is bullshit coming from the Secretary. Now here he is on Sky News.
Why didn't the Home Office wait for the council's Legionella?
That, I think, was on BBC.
The test results before you started letting people on board.
Well, the Home Office did take precautionary measures as soon as we got the results.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You actually didn't. You waited.
It's right that there was tests. So ministers found out on Thursday night, is my understanding. So Home Office ministers were...
That's not... I just heard it was on fucking Monday.
On Thursday, they took action as a precautionary measure there. So it's perfectly normal that these tests are done. They were done at the end of the month. Once ministers were aware that there were some concerns, they took precautionary measures, and the barge will then be made ready.
They rushed this. They wanted it was Migrant Week last week, so they wanted to get this done. So they ignored procedure, just like these Tories always fucking do.
People will come back in the...
But isn't a normal procedure if you are going to house people somewhere and you need to do tests? You wait for the results of the tests before you start putting the people in. And if the results of the tests hadn't come back, why were people allowed to go in?
Well, this is a standard thing the council had done as part... There's no reason to suggest there were concerns as a precaution.
No! See, they have so little idea when it comes to health and safety procedure. The health minister comes out with bullshit on live TV. Fucking ridiculous.
tests were done, as soon as ministers were notified on Thursday night that there were some concerns with that, they took instant action in terms of...
The council says that they told their contractors on the Monday,
Monday.
and that the Home Office
Monday.
was informed on the Tuesday. And you're now saying it was Thursday.
He's just a bullshitter.
There's a disparity there, isn't it? Are the council fibbing?
It may be the council notify the Home Office. That's an issue for those in the Home Office to respond to.
Oh, it's not my fault. I've got nothing to do with it. You're the health minister. This is Legionnaires, you fucking twat.
Obviously, this is a Home Office lead. My understanding from colleagues in the Home Office is it was notified to Home Office ministers on Thursday, and they then took very quick action as a result.
Are simply going through the motions.
Oh, and now we're on to Good Morning Britain, ITV.
Stopping these boats from leaving and trying to turn them back. But actually, they'd rather they came here than stayed in the Port of Calais. Are we being taken for mugs? Are we paying for some kind of cooperation that's not happening?
Well, we need to do a range of things, and one of the things is try and disrupt the criminal gangs upstream, not just in France.
Which you aren't doing, because you're concentrating on the fucking boats.
But where they're sourcing their engines, where they're sourcing their boats, as they're moving people into Northern Europe. So more work upstream, which we're doing.
Yes,
No, you're not. Evidently you're not. If it's getting worse, you're not doing your job. Fucking twats.
Answer the question, please. Are the French doing what they should be doing, given all the money that we're giving to them to try and stop these boats crossing?
We haven't given any money to them. Hang on a minute. How much money have the UK government sent to France? A simple question, surely. Okay, apparently we've handed over $576 million over the next 3 years. Have we even set, okay, no. See, that's promised. It says here, the UK government has agreed to pay $576 million over the next 3 years to France to combat illegal migration across the English Channel. The deal was announced at a summit earlier this year, right? But all this is saying is that we are to pay for it. Yeah, see, the UK has failed to pay 54 million that it promised. No, I don't want foreign aid. We're not paying out this money. We've agreed to pay it, but we're not doing it. And I can't find how much money we have actually sent over. No. See, I put how much money of the UK government sent to France, and it says 576 million, but that's not the answer to that question. Because the answer says the UK has agreed to pay it. That doesn't mean it actually has done. An unpublished government briefing apparently estimates that 100 million has been spent on security measures at French border points. This is in full fact. We haven't seen evidence to confirm this. It's from a news report. So, an agreement on Thursday now means the figure is close to 150 million. But there's no evidence for it. An unpublished government briefing apparently estimates 100 million has been spent on security measures at French border points in the Channel over the last 3 years, following an agreement made by the UK and France on a Thursday. That figure is now to be 150 million. We haven't seen the briefing behind these figures, so we aren't able to say how accurate they are. So they're saying all this whilst, at the same time, not letting us see what, like, they're saying, oh, we paid this, oh, let us see that you've actually paid it then. No. It's bullshit, I bet you. Anyway, back to Barclays.
Or are they turning a blind eye? It's a simple question.
Well, I think it's in our interest to work cooperatively with the French. I think we'll have more success doing that than if we don't. But it's just one of a number of things.
Worried about speaking out
turning a blind eye? Are they turning
It's not about French, it's about our backlogs, for fuck's sake.
blind eye?
No, they've stopped 40% more boats this year than last year.
But if you say that the numbers are down, the baby Stockholm obviously needing to act as a deterrent. We had wall-to-wall coverage of it all of last week. And then on Thursday, 755 migrants came across the water, the highest number to cross in a single day this year. We had 6 people died on Saturday. It does seem clear that in the short term, it's certainly not having any impact at all.
Well, this is why we also think we need the policy in terms of Rwanda.
None of it works! Because none of your policies are effective at all! Because you're conservatives! You can't come up with an effective policy.
We need to be able to process in a third country. We think that will have a significant deterrent effect.
We all accept it's complex. There are lots of different ways
Talk
of dealing
TV
with
this
this, but we
time.
know what happened on Saturday. 6 Afghan migrants dead on that migrant crossing. Some 550 having to be rescued. But again, hundreds coming across over the weekend, as always. Well, there's all this evidence that these French boats, Frenchly, escorting these ramshackle boats with people, close to drowning, to British waters for them to be rescued by British boats. Why do we not escort these boats back to French waters to let the French deal with it?
Well, obviously what happened at the weekend is
Because that's inhumane, Julie Hartley Brewer, you fucking bitch! No, I don't care. That woman is a heartless fucking cunt.
breaking tragedy, and I think everyone was shocked when they saw that.
Were you shocked? I wasn't shocked. 70 people get onto a boat meant for about 10, and then they haven't got life jackets on, and people die. I think that's one of the least shocking things I've ever heard.
There's a report in the papers today,
Heartless
I know what
bitch.
you're going to say about it. It's a leaked report that suggests a government memo has said that the migrant crisis is going to last another 5 years. If that's the case, how can Rishi Sunak possibly campaign on Stop the Boats during the next general election campaign?
Well, as you say, I mean, ministers don't comment on leaked reports, but I think it is important to note there's a world of difference between saying a facility that is put in place would be available for 5 years and saying that it would be needed for 5 years. So it's important not to conflate different issues. The key issue is that the numbers are coming
This is
down.
fucking terrible.
We're taking action, for example, with our returns deal with Albania. We're working constructively with the French.
The Albanians have told you to fuck off and stop being xenophobic towards them. The fucking leader of the country has told you cunts to do so. Fuck's sake. Oh, we had an agreement with the Albanians. Yeah, after bullying them, you cunts.
Authorities, that is having an impact, but we recognise we need to do more. That is why we're taking steps to bring the cost of hotels down through the use of barges. It's also why, through our policy, Rwanda.
Through the use of disease barges, plague barges. These people should not be being put into detention. It's inhumane.
We're looking at how we can have the deterrent effect of processing in a third country to again bring those numbers down.
I wonder, is this the most inhumane Tory party we've had in its long history?
But you can see that if the results came back on the Monday and you were still housing people Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, others would say that's not quick reactions at all.
No, it isn't.
You were still allowing people to go onto a boat when there was the potential for Legionella.
Well, I think this was a precautionary decision. I think there was an isolated incident that raised a concern. No one has been injured. I think health checks have been carried out with those that were on
That
the barge.
isn't
My
the
understanding
point,
is the
you
decision taken
fucking
as a precautionary
Tory.
one. But in terms of what ministers were informed of, my understanding from Home Office colleagues, ministers were notified on Thursday and took a decision as a precautionary measure.
Bollocks! They
as
knew
these
on
incidents.
So what's the
Monday
gap
or
then between the
Tuesday
Home
at
Office and ministers,
latest.
that sort of Tuesday, Thursday gap? Should the Home Office have informed ministers
Well,
faster?
my understanding is when the council was aware, as opposed to when Home Office and Home Office ministers
No,
were
the
aware,
council let
and that's why I think
the Home
the
Office
council
know
has been seeking
by
to pass through.
Tuesday.
They did notify when.
Poland, the Polish Prime Minister is going to hold a referendum mid-October asking Polish people if they want to accept an EU plan to distribute migrants evenly among member states. Basically, he says forced relocation of illegal arrivals, largely from Middle East and African countries. We're not in the EU anymore, thankfully, to Brexit campaign.
I knew she was going to say something like that because she's Julie Hartley fucking Brewer. But oh my fucking gods.
Campaigners like your good self. Do we need a referendum in the UK on this issue about how many people and from where we are willing
No.
to take?
No.
Well, we've got a plan, and we're working through the plan.
It doesn't
And as I say,
work.
that includes, for example, processing claims in Rwanda.
I love that. Julie Hartley Brewer. Oh, look, the Polish are going to be xenophobic. Should we do that too? Fucking bitch.
It includes reducing the cost of hotels through innovations such as barges. It's about working in partnership with the French authorities to stop more boats upstream. But it's also taking action on the criminal gangs in country.
No, you can't concentrate on the criminal gangs when all of your focus is going on the fucking boats, you bastards.
Would you mind answering my question, sir? Should we have a referendum on this issue?
At this point.
No, but you don't think the British people should have their say?
You don't think the British people should be allowed to be xenophobic like Polish? No.
A plan. Well, I think the British people have had their say. They want to see the boat stop. That's why the Prime Minister made it one of the 5 key pledges that he's focused on. We're making
it's not working
on that pledge, but we accept, Julia, there's much more to do, and we're committed to doing so.
Do you think people should be put back on the bivvy stocking?
Yes, I do, because it's costing around £6 million a day in terms of the cost of hotels. It's important that we both maintain safety standards, but also...
You're not. This is the problem. You aren't. You can't, because you don't understand it.
Reflect the pressure on the taxpayer position in terms of that £6 million.
But this is only...
So it is right that we are using the barges. There's a range of
No,
things that
no, it isn't right that we're using the barges, you prick. The only reason you're using the barges is because you can't be bothered to bring down the backlog. Because you also think that is a deterrent.
Bringing the numbers of crossings down. The number of crossings is lower this year than last year. The French authorities have stopped 40% more boats than they did previously. Our deal with Albania has led to a 90% fall in the number coming across from Albania. So progress is...
No. Highest number on record. And he's saying it's all low. No, it isn't!
Down. Numbers are down.
No, they aren't!
Right, we take action in terms of that £6 million cost of hotel accommodation, and that's what we're doing.
That's that. Just chuck out as much bullshit right at the end. That's what they fucking do. This is inhumane. We shouldn't be putting them on barges in the first place. We shouldn't be putting them in hotels in the first place. The only reason the Tories are doing this is because of their own shitty ideology. I am losing my shit. And if people want to argue with this to me, you want to debate this with me, you want to argue this with me, come and fucking debate me, bastards. This is inhumane.